Hi, I'm Aidan Timmins. I'm the Senior Research Analyst here with Motor Trade Publishers, and I'm going to give you a very abbreviated version of a larger presentation which I provided to members of the IAEA on the 5th of July of this year. The reason for it being so fast-paced is that I am constrained with a file size and a file duration, or rather a movie duration, which I can upload to YouTube, which stipulates that it must be under 10 minutes. So you'll have to forgive me for perhaps breezing through some of this a little bit quicker than I would have preferred, and also intended the initial presentation to last. It was on the night around a 45-minute presentation. I'm aware that I've just wasted 30 seconds rather explaining that, so let's just jump straight in. Okay, we produced a car sales guide and the light commercial and four-wheel drive guide. If you don't know who we are and you don't know what we do, please do visit our website www.mtp.ie. That'll give you all the information you need to know. The values that we produce, we consider, are the motor trades values, and the reason why we consider that is because we conduct around 600 research visits every single year, and that's main dealers, independent dealers, finance companies, fleet companies, and anybody with a vested interest in the motor trade and can provide an accurate and a sophisticated thought process towards how to readjust values. And we do that on a monthly basis, not the 600 research visits, but we do conduct a number of visits every single week so that we stay on top of the movements of the market. And once we get those visits under our belt, we bring them back to the office where a team of analysts work on a very complex set of procedures to make sure that the values that we've obtained make sense in terms of residual value of a vehicle. Now, there is quite a bit of a manual process involved here. I can't go into it at the moment, but suffice to say that it's not a simple case of just adding up all the deals that we get, or all the figures that we get, and dividing by that number. We don't even take a median or anything like that. It's far more comprehensive than what a lot of people seem to think it is. Also, from this slide, we can kind of ignore the last three bits of it because of the time pressure that we are under. But essentially, what should be taken from here is that the values that we provide are nuanced to non-main dealers. We get Ford prices from Ford dealers, Toyota from Toyota, and Volkswagen from Volkswagen. But we are eminently aware that most people who use those values are non-Ford, Toyota, or Volkswagen dealers, or any other manufacturer, as the case may be. And therefore that we must be aware that we have to nuance those values to the non-main dealer, because a main dealer will logically and quite rightly achieve a slightly higher premium for their product than they would for a non-own brand product. And so in order to make the values sensible to other people and usable, we have to nuance them to a non-main dealer. You'll see what I mean in a very short period of time. Essentially, again, this is really should be devoting a full 10 minutes to this slide alone, but again, it just serves to prove that we don't just take let's say an ORIS, for instance, add up all the values for an ORIS, and then hopefully arrive at a decent value. We have to assess an ORIS in its segment against its nearest competitor, and in this case we took a Volkswagen Golf. We could have taken a Ford Focus, but I think a Golf is a little bit closer to an ORIS in terms of its residual values. Recently, we've had the case where people are saying that the new 1.6 TDI ambient Skoda Octavia should now be also considered in the same realm as these two vehicles. Certainly is worth as much or more than a Volkswagen Golf. But a Passat also gets brought into this equation because an Octavia is a viable alternative to a Passat. And therefore, in algebraic terms, we have to say, well, then does that mean a Golf and a Passat has a much closer relationship than it used to have? The answer was yes, but that necessarily meant that we had to investigate the relationship between an Aventus and an Auris. And we saw that its gap had fallen as well. So again, it's not a simple case of just adding up a load of values for one particular vehicle and taking those as kind of independent of every other vehicle in its class or even in the market. We do have to delve into values a little bit more deeply. Okay. Our values are not asking prices, unlike values that you will see on the web. They are actual prices. They're the true selling price of the car, not trade-in allowances, nothing like that. We update them every month, and they're based on tangible research, and we don't mind what those values are as long as they're accurate. If it means that we have to pull a car down by €400 or $4 grand, we will do it, as long as it's the accurate price to put in. The danger with pricing on the web is that a lot of people will assume that you're getting a similar product. You're not. You're looking at an asking price, and there's no way anybody has a crystal ball and is able to predict what the margin is in any particular car. While a lot of people might try or claim to have a system, those are simply claims. They're not. They can't be based on any scientific rationale. They're not based on any research. It's based largely on a dealer's gut feeling, and they may be right or they may be wrong. And really and truly, the only way of knowing is when the car comes in and it's sold, and that may be 4 or 5 months even after the car has been taken in. Hopefully not that long, but that is a reality. Now, I'm just going to check the time because I am conscious that I don't want to move over to 10 minutes. No, I've done 5.5 minutes. We should be okay. This is a sample research data that I've done. It's for a Toyota Avensis 2-litre diesel, or the new shape from 2009 onwards, and you can see I've had to take out some of the commercially sensitive information, but you can see that from April to June, let's say, we had 6 calls there. We would usually make more. This is only a sample data of my system. The other analysts will have data on their system as well, but you can see that there isn't that much disagreement in the value of 2010 or 2009, but there still is from between some people. I mean, there on the 7th, the bottom one was 15,750 up to 16.5, and the second one down in the space of 1 month. So there is a €750 difference even between 2 Toyota dealers. If there's that kind of a difference between 2 Toyota dealers, then you have to accept that there's going to be some sort of a buffer on the values that we produce. I wouldn't like to assume that it's €750, but €100 here or there shouldn't make much of a difference on 15 or 20 grand. Also, you look at the bottom, the average price. We don't take the average. We go in with a more sensible value than that. The market behavior. Okay, this is from an insurance perspective. If you're going to be insuring a car from 2009 onwards, the thing to notice is that we sold an awful lot less cars than we did in 2007 and 2008. And therefore you were more than likely going to be faced with more imports at this stage than in 2007 and 2008 reg plates. So again, it's something to be eminently aware of. I can't spend as much time on that slide as I like, and I certainly won't spend any time on this slide because I'm simply giving you a rundown of the market behavior and how it reacts throughout the year. It's something that I probably need to be there for in person, so you can ask me questions as I'm going through it. Our values can be used from an underwriting stage to take the onus away from the customer at the policy inception. The insurance company can assume control at that stage. Again, I have to move on because I'm aware I'm coming up to the 10 minutes. But essentially, the one to really note here is the bottom point. It's self-updating for policy renewal. And from a consumer protection code basis, this is absolutely crucial. A consumer, or rather a policyholder, takes out a policy on day one and doesn't change companies for 3 or 4 years, and just renews as the renewal policy schedule comes through the door. Now, it's likely that person won't update their value, and for that reason, if they do have a claim, the value will be based off whatever they insured the car for initially. From an assessing point of view, we can provide values for legal proceedings or establishing pre-accident values, and for record keeping as well if you are audited. We work with a company called Risk Intelligence Ireland. We give them our values, they match it to vehicle registration data and perform HPI checks. We can put that into your own system in whatever format you like. You can display those to your clients at either renewal or policy inception. They at least now are informed of what the value of their car is, and if they have a claim, our value is taken as the industry standard. Our products, again, if you want to call me on this, absolutely no problem. It's 018775460, but suffice it to say that we can provide, I'll just go back here, suffice it to say that we can provide vehicle data in either car or on hard copy or online. We also have a mobile app as well. Our adjustment calculator as well is the only one of its kind in the country. We readjust values based on its mileage there. A Focus 1.6 TDI style with 55,000 kilometers in 2010. If we update it to 78,000 kilometers, as you'll see there, we hit the adjust button, it comes out at 13,100 from 14,250, and you can print that out in PDF. The market outlook, again, please give me a call to go through this because I'm aware I'm just going to push through time. I'm sorry for the abbreviated version, but it should give you a rundown as to how we assess values in the market. Please feel free to contact me at atimmons@mtp.ie. Thank you very much.